Welcome to Fast Instant Karma. Buckle your seatbelts because today's flight isn't serving drinks. It's serving a massive side of instant fails from Karen at 30,000 feet. Bet you can't guess who gets carried off the plane first. Hit the music. This girl tried to wipe out her airport restaurant bill at ATL by boldly using a fire extinguisher. Girl, just remember, misusing emergency equipment at a major hub like ATL is a federal offense, with massive fines and possible jail time. Yelling in a staff member's face won't get you on a flight, but it will get you a VIP spot on the cold airport floor. Hope that upgrade was worth it. Feeling way too hot on the plane, this genius passenger came up with a cooling method no one saw coming.
My parents are recording fucking 2 goddamn gallons. You know what?
Alcohol isn't an excuse for being a predator. Seeing him silenced and stuck was the highlight of everyone's trip.
No!
This man got the right thing. Just make sure your seatbelts are fastened. We are late.
It starts with the mysterious disappearance of a child and peaks with the mother's outburst at the American Airlines counter. The incident turned Miami International Airport into a violent battleground before Miami police stepped in to bring the whole scene to an end.
The more of you that remember that the warning. Why the f*** are on a flight back to warning?
Whatever the reason for being denied boarding on this $2,000 flight, this total meltdown at the ticket counter is definitely going to cause him a lot more trouble. He thought he was Tom Cruise in a Mission Impossible movie.
Ladies and gentlemen, please are coming forward. They're going to have to exit the wing from the wing exit.
But unfortunately for our lead actor, airport security stepped in fast to shut down his one-man show.
Hey, no.
If you need private space that badly, then maybe don't go to one of the busiest airports in the world.
No, we're not bothering you.
Just a thought.
You're not allowed to record me. It's against the law to take a video of somebody without their permission.
No.
You don't put that camera away. I'm going to have an officer make sure you plug into the camera and I'll sue you. I'll have my lawyer sue you. No, I don't need my. I will call you.
Want an upgrade? This is definitely the worst way to do it. Forget economy class. This woman decided to upgrade herself to a VIP lounge just to take a quick nap on a Southwest flight.
Good evening, welcome aboard. Southwest Airlines flight.
Stay there.
Don't
Let me
touch
show-
people.
No.
Don't touch
No, this is where her asshole is.
Do not touch her.
Look at her.
Do
Shut
not touch
up.
her.
Let go of her.
A 32-year-old woman turned a flight to Kansas into full-on drama, repeatedly disturbing other passengers after a seat dispute.
Yeah, put me on the ground. Put me on the ground. You can't even see it because you're embarrassed. Shut the f up.
Who is the one?
Disgusting. Go
Starting off with a defiant woman who thought she could just look down on her fellow passengers. But her victim finally snapped and shut her down with a savage comeback.
You've been kicking my chair. You mean back. It goes back and forth like that. I need leg room. You're not putting your legs on together now.
She once made a name for herself on Bad Girls Club, but this screaming on a plane clip cost Morgan more than just the flight.
No, you shut the f up. You shut the f up and your. You shut the. Film me.
It officially put her on the long list of influencers behaving badly at 30,000 feet. There's nothing that kills a Karen's ego faster than being treated like she's invisible.
Oh, fuck no.
Total boss move. She kept asking, "What have I done?" right after slapping a passenger in the face. I guess that 50,000 pounds fine is the only answer she's ever going to get. A classic case of little Karen syndrome, where being told you're bothering hundreds of other people immediately triggers maximum victim mode.
You're being so...
I guess med school didn't offer a course on how to act like a normal human in public for this Indian doctor. A performance truly worthy of an Oscar for Most Aggressive Leading Actress of the Year.
Airline, don't come on private airline. You're watching a girl get handcuffed for nothing.
Getting violent at 30,000 feet never ends well. After being teamed up on by the passengers and crew, this guy earned himself a round-trip ticket straight back to Houston for a reunion with the police. This woman redefined tech support by smashing a laptop into her boyfriend's head just because he dared to glance at another girl.
Here, I'm assaulting you. I'm gonna get my purse.
Are you okay?
Memo.
Ma'am.
Yeah, I'm going over there.
You're gonna be charged.
Fine, whatever.
He threw me to the ground. My name is Terry Ann.
Meet Terry Ann, a full-on Karen who tried to deal with the police by demanding to speak to the airport manager after getting caught forcing her way through security.
Pulling me to the ground. You deserve it. It is red.
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo. You.
Oh my gosh, all this chaos just because they couldn't agree on who grabs the suitcase first. I don't remember this scene in The Little Mermaid, but Ariel definitely lost more than just her voice today. Couldn't wait to get to Phoenix to sunbathe. This passenger decided to throw a beach party right before takeoff. The result of the disastrous stunt? A lifetime flight ban plus a mandatory mental health evaluation. And here we go again with the classic Karen self-defense routine, calmly denying she spat on staff despite clear camera evidence. We've seen this tired script too many times.
How am I resisting? You have me in handcuffs.
Love may be patient, airlines are not. Instead of teaching others about empathy, this mother should start by teaching her own child a basic lesson. Not everything in life is yours just because you cry for it.
Isso é repugnante. No século XXI, a pessoa não tem empatia com uma criança. Because my dog was on my lap.
We'll have a conversation with you.
Why? I
FAA rules are clear. Pets must stay inside a carrier under the seat.
You're gonna put me on another thing. My dog was sitting on my lap. I put him in the bag.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna refund your ticket. You can go on Southwest.
Ignore that and cause trouble for other passengers, and congratulations! You've just picked the fastest way to earn yourself a flight bag.
I am! Shut the
Hey,
Turn your phone off! Why is he recording me?
It doesn't matter. Anybody can
Yeah,
record
yeah.
anything.
Oh,
You
anybody.
just struck a passenger
Yeah,
bottle.
okay. Oh, I just got selfish. How do you find my glasses?
A normal flight turned into total chaos when this woman started hurling insults at the crew and aggressively screaming at any passenger who dared to even look at her.
I'm disrespectful? Are you kidding me right now? Oh my God.
How did I disrespect you?
We've been listening to your crap for hours.
Virgin right here. 40-year-old virgin going to Vegas with his token.
I'm a prick.
Your family.
She actually deluded herself into thinking that insulting a father and his kids was cool.
Though for being rude and racist right now. Can you do that or no?
He doesn't care about racist. You're racist towards me.
But the only thing she got back was the title of most hated person on the internet this week.
Please take her off the bus. Get off the bus.
Enjoy the hangover and the permanent shame.
Here we go.
This nice family didn't do anything. She doesn't need to be on this bus. She needs to go on the other bus. She's making me uncomfortable.
I have a lawyer now. No, I have a lawyer now. Do I have a lawyer now? Do I have a lawyer now? Do I have a legal lawyer to hire now, or yes or no?
Never drink too much before boarding a flight, unless you want to become an accidental star like this lady.
Are you done yet?
Yeah. Stand up.
Okay.
Because you wear a uniform makes you feel good about yourself? That'll be so much worse than the shit that you freak out on your wife on. Now.
Relax.
No, now.
Now she probably remembers she actually has legs to walk, with all the embarrassment that comes with it.
Yes, I have. Wait.
Charles Ford, 42. Did y'all make it to public side yet?
No, I would like to go to the police people.
You are with the police people.
Handcuffs are the most fitting answer for anyone who disrespects the law and law enforcement.
Great, thanks. They did not take me off the plane, and I had a reason to go to Alaska.
Just because she didn't get the aisle seat she wanted, Jacqueline turned this Delta flight into total chaos.
How is that my problem? I told them, then the girls let me sit where I wanted to sit, and then they took me off the plane. But I walked off allowing. They did not arrest me. They did not handcuff me. They did not touch me to get off the plane. They gave me an E, which is a middle seat. that is not what I paid for. Dude, who's my
And she didn't stop there. She went on a racist rant, rudely telling a police officer to go back to China. Talk about peak delusion.
I was in an aisle. Alright, dude, give me my... give me my... I didn't do... Stop! Stop!
Now she's facing a mountain of criminal charges instead of relaxing with the cigarette she wanted.
Let's go. Where's the card, Sarge?
Get off me! Go back to China!
Right over there.
You can have a cigarette when you get out of jail.
No. Like, I don't have to touch it. Like, I don't have to touch it.
You can't smoke right now. I'm sorry.
What would you do in this situation? Thinking she was some kind of prophet, Tiffany Gomez caused a frenzy by claiming the plane would crash because of a mystery passenger.
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not. I'm not going to.
We see your ID.
Ma'am.
I need your ID, ma'am.
What's going on?
She just stated that another passenger stole her AirPods and stuff, so they got into each other. But we need her information to remove her from the flight.
But guess what? Nothing happened.
Do not let that flight leave. Being dead serious. Do not let that flight leave. That flight's not gonna make
Even without legal consequences, she paid the price with a tearful public comeback, apologizing to the world after disappearing under online pressure.
I've had physical contact with people.
744, can you put us on that disturbance call?
Well, yes, because obviously we just got reports that you assaulted somebody by pushing the gentleman inside. Can you let me finish?
120 pounds.
Can you let me finish?
Yeah.
So the gentleman is not wanting to press charges, okay? Okay.
This drunk passenger on an Air Asia flight decided that 30,000 feet was the perfect place to strip down and start a Russian monologue. This British fighter tried to knock out the airplane door while charging at it on a Ryanair flight from Croatia to London. But his fellow passengers definitely weren't letting that happen. There's zero tolerance for anyone who attacks flight crew. Once you let alcohol take over at 10,000 meters, you deserve to be strapped to your seat like a parcel like this. She literally turned a 10-hour flight into a UFC match just because she thought another woman was giving looks to her man. What should have been a smooth trip home turned upside down over a child seat dispute on a Delta flight.
Right. I got him a ticket on another flight so that my son would have a seat. And you're saying you're gonna give that away to someone else that when I pay for that seat, that's not right.
It's a perfect example of how airline rules and passenger expectations sometimes run on completely parallel lines.
Things that my kids have to have that are in those bags.
We will get all your bags off, sir.
We need someone to help with their punches to carry them off.
While most passengers bring checked luggage, one woman on United Airlines Flight 762 brought chaos. After a series of aggressive outbursts, she forced the crew to divert the plane for an emergency landing in Orlando for safety reasons. Police were already waiting at the aircraft door, once again proving that bad behavior always lands you straight in a holding cell.
Manager, за что студент тук?
Какви керосин? Айде!
This woman claimed to work for the airline, but apparently missed the training on not knocking on the pilot's door mid-flight.
That's an FAA violation. I'm not opening it. I work for the airline. I understand I'm not opening it. I'm just knocking. I'm just trying to see.
I think he's got a bag. That's what I was just about to ask. Yeah, I saw him put somebody.
He kept claiming everyone was ganging up on him. Well, when you act like a racist, that's exactly what happens.
Turn around and walk!
Let's go.
Turn around and walk!
Enjoy that walk of shame.
Walk! Walk! Let's go.
When a flight gets cancelled, that's when calm goes out the window. This passenger took all the anger out on airport staff, people who were just doing their job. What discomfort over someone else's body odor isn't handled calmly, but turns into a full-on martial arts showdown right on the plane. There's a thin line between free speech and becoming a public nightmare at 30,000 feet. She crossed that line a long time ago.
Like I said, the reason the pandemic started. I thought my dog would be a better dog.
Called me names and insulted me just for sitting down in the seat saying that I came here to celebrate today.
A political disagreement is not an excuse to go off on someone like this woman did.
That man doesn't believe in climate change. Do you believe in gravity?
The price for that kind of aggression? Getting kicked out of the flight.
Oh my god, this lady's gonna get thrown off the flight.
Can I get a whole row to myself? You earned it.
Everybody, come take my hand, let's run together. On the storm. Everybody, come take my hand, let's run together. Come take my hand, let's run together. Through the storm, and I can't stop breathing this way. I'm coming out of my head.
I'm right here. Are you going to get off the aircraft or are you going to sit there?
Another Karen-style racist outburst.
It's going to be your
I
turn,
got
so
to
you
pee.
need to go
I
and
got
you
to
need
get off of here.
But honestly, it's satisfying. The flight attendant's sharp response shut down that ridiculous main character fantasy instantly.
Excuse me, I work here, ma'am. All right? I need to have the aircraft, please.
Huge respect to the flight crews for their endless patience with passengers who leave their dignity at home. Which of these shutdowns was your favorite? Hit like to spread some instant karma, and we'll see you in the next one.